the money quote of the day, brought to us by Mr. Dale Carnegie. If you have not read How to Win Friends and Influence People, that is an absolute must-read. Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends and Influence People, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, The Magic of Thinking Big. You know, there's so many books out there where really I'm kind of coming to a conclusion that getting 4 or 5 books and just rereading those instead of reading new ones, pretty much every book is based on those books anyway. So, Mr. Dale Carnegie wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People, and he said, develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are 2 stepping stones to success. You know, it's funny, in the world today, you could ask almost anybody, you know, tell me about discouragement and failure. And man, could they just bite into that and just go forever. People are like feed off of being discouraged and talking about their failures and all the reasons why they're not winning or not succeeding, and you know, how depressed they are and how life is horrible. You want to know what would cause a massive cure of depression? Go freaking do something. Go achieve, go win, knowing, but not just go out and win, because that's what people will say was caused their depression. Is that, well, I'm trying to win and I just keep failing. Well, if you knew that that was part of it, if we knew that every person that broke through to the other side of failure to success, failure was just something they had to do along the way, like tying their shoe or like eating, that it was just one of the things that they did. It was just a step, something that consciously, if people aren't out achieving, they fail so slowly because they're trying to avoid failure, the little failures, and by avoiding the little failures, they avoid the biggest. They become the biggest failure of all by trying to avoid failure. But if they just knew that was just one of the things that happened along the way, and not to avoid it, and it's not sabotaging, and that's a totally different conversation. It's not reaching into your finances and say, well, I'm supposed to fail, so I better rack up all this debt because that's a pretty big failure. No, it's creating a goal, going out and attacking that goal like crazy, knowing that you're going to get discouraged along the way, knowing that it's not going to go exactly like you thought, but attack anyway. Attack and attack and attack, and figure out the way that works. Not just figure out the way that works, figure out the way that works for you, because it's going to be different for everybody. So when you're creating a financial plan, when you're trying to get out of debt, when you're trying to become financially independent, it's not the easiest thing you're ever going to do. But here's the other thing, it's not the hardest thing you're ever going to do either. And I've seen many people in that pursuit get to the point where they feel like they've accomplished something, and then they let it slide. You know, it's just like you hear, it's not enough to just, you know, you drink the right amount of water for several years and then you're good. You create a relationship, you keep that relationship really good for a couple of years, and then you don't have to invest the same amount of time anymore. It's the same amount of time, it's the same amount of effort, and a lot of the time we're challenged. We're challenged with, can we keep it up? So it's developing success from failure, and that, from Mr. Dale Carnegie, is our money quote of the day.